So in a matter of hours, Blizzard will hit us with what feels like a do or die moment. The next expansion, Dragonflight, will be announced. There's trepidation all around. Some hope this announcement will be the beginning of a new, lessons will have been learnt, and others, I'm sure, hope that finally the House of Cards is going to come crashing down, to finally see the train wreck that started so many years ago come to a thrilling stop, fire fueled by Blizzard's own hubris. And of course, all wonder what set of pixelated cleavage will be fruitified next, lest our souls be damned. I can't say I'm too excited, but at the same time I've been thinking about the possibilities of their next expansion enough to sit down and make this shitty video. So it clearly matters to me somewhat, or at least their methodology does. I'm always fascinated by the winners of the world, not because I idolize them or want to be them per se, because it seems like such a trying position to be in. I'm personally pretty secure in my failures. I find solace in trying, success or not. And let's be real, the numbers are against most of us, and to truly find success is incredibly rare. Just look at how many videos are uploaded on YouTube daily compared to how many you actually see. In fact, if I don't know you and you're watching this, well fucking damn, you're a miracle view, so thank you for that. Point is, I believe failure can make us. Success can break us. After all, no king rules forever. The failure that Blizzard has found in the recent years is potentially its greatest yet, and most significant. Sure, WoD didn't do too well, but it's taken almost 17 years for WoW to really hit a snag that could risk the toppling of the IP. Most other MMOs find failure in a matter of months, and even those that succeed tend to take a long time to succeed. Just look at the MMOs that have been pulled into the spotlight recently due to the exodus of WoW players. Final Fantasy needed a reboot, and only after its 10th year found monumental success, partly due to Blizzard's hubris. Not that it hasn't earned its own stripes or anything like that, but it helped having the king start to tumble. Elder Scrolls Online, ESO, had a similar remission, as it was met with a lackluster response and had to take to rebuilding and refining its systems. Again, taking years to truly amass a solid and stable player base. Guild Wars 2 recently announced that its latest expansion, End of Dragons, has outsold all previous expansions. Most MMOs have to struggle, fight, and rework themselves. There is a graveyard of MMOs that have failed to adapt. WildStar, City of Heroes, Firefall, Warhammer Online. Yet Blizzard have been able to ignore and straight up discount players' feedback over the course of years and seemingly feel nothing for it. It's literally taken the complete absurdity in its story, the abuse of player time, arbitrary systems, and cruelty towards its own staff. And even now, it's safe to assume their numbers still rival most competitors. Though, for how long, we'll have to see. One of Blizzard's first big failures was WoD. And from that failure, we saw two things. One, they decided to throw the baby out with the bathwater in regards to garrisons. And two, they put their nose to the grinder to offer players a laundry list of systems. Now, Legion was, for me, one of the best expansions. I love class fantasy and talent trees, and I got both. But it struck me as peculiar that they seemingly didn't take anything from WoD and try and bring it over to Legion. I mean, garrisons required a lot of time sink to design and implement, and was the closest things players had ever gotten to player housing. So surely it would have made sense to somehow facilitate that work already put in and allowed players to up and move their bases to spots around Azeroth. I mean, phasing was nothing new, and story-wise you had certain areas being bombarded by demons on the regular. Why not allow players to resettle, to set up some kind of defense line against a demon horde? I mean, if they had, they would have had an ease of rewards to offer in Legion. Considering they could have offered new architectural and thematic layouts that were Legion based or class order based, and would have made a lot of players jump on that treadmill to chase the carrot without any real incentive other than the fact that they wanted a cool garrison. But then again, this is still the same minds that considered adding a new talent row every expansion to be too cumbersome and sought to future-proof themselves by opting for a more Diablo-esque approach during the release of Mists of Pandaria, changing out the good old-fashioned talent tree for a simplified and on-the-fly selection of abilities to dance between with a talent row. It wasn't an overnight change, of course, but rather a slow descent towards homogenization to relieve the pressure of longevity with the growing complexities of a system. Wrath of the Lich King was the last expansion that really facilitated the potential flexibility in its player's build, especially with the inclusion of the glyph system. That is until Blizzard had to contend with the failure of WoD, an experience that both prompted the creation of Legion and the reintroduction of a talent tree, and of course, a harboring reliance on borrowed power. They feared a new talent row, but in response to real failure, they opted to bring forth an entirely new talent tree and an ability for each class for each spec. something that was going to clearly be difficult to maintain through expansions, but also was the antithesis of what they had intended with their original talent tree alternative. Then we got BFA, more systems, more abilities, more balance issues, and again a system unstable for longevity. But Legion worked, and so they backtrack and attempt to reform the Legion systems with the offering of Covenants with the intent of going bigger and better, and another inclusion of a talent tree of sorts. I mean, it's ironic that the fear of longevity revolving around their talent tree has cascaded in the complete rework of entire game systems 3 times over. If you had started in vanilla, you had similar talent trees to contend with, gaining only 4 new rows of choice and 1 entirely new system, which was glyphs, over the course of about 8 years, which at that point was WoW's highest growth in players, as well as its highest player count. Imagine what could be accomplished if Blizzard didn't have to spend their man hours completely reinventing the wheel. And of course, then in order to justify their insistence on systems, they bring forth time gating on every element of a subscription-based game, a seemingly forceful way to ensure players play but then don't burn through the clear lack of content because so much time has been spent on the systems rather than the overall experience. You know, I played about 2 weeks of Shadowlands and I was done. I saw the Covenant system and realized that the hopes to have expanded story and dialogue with those I was meant to be soulbinding with, for there to be any real significance to my choice beyond the expansion, was idiotic. I just found a complete detachment from the game. I saw the treadmill and I wanted to get off. It's not the first time it's happened, but it certainly felt the most final. Yet, cut back 3 weeks ago when I realized I could unlock the Werebear Legion form for my druid, and I was suckered right back in. A single, arguably very superficial offering of a Werebear, and I gave my money to the devil. For all the hours put in, for all the systems implemented, it was the hopes of being a badass bear that pulled me back in. Obviously, a game needs more than just the offerings of the superficial, but it's something to consider. What exactly makes you play? What brings you back? And what leaks have you read that piques your interest the most? Chances are, it isn't the systems. Success can break us, and success has surely become the bane of Blizzard as it's attempted to battle its failures. It's almost certain that Dragonflight will be another kitchen sink moment, another Legion attempt. They've met failure, and in a mad dash of panic, they will throw everything they've got in reserve. And chances are it'll work. But will this stumble teach them anything? Will they see the folly of their approaches, or will they just simply continue to add and add and add, and if it fails, add even more? For me, the only thing I'll be paying attention to is the methodology that's on offer. Are Blizzard willing to let go of their success and return to their former selves, working to earn favor rather than abuse it? Is the treadmill time-gated? Are the systems artificially inflated? Or is it going to be about the experience, story, characters, exploration, and fun? Anyway, this was a stupid little rant. Thank you for watching, if you're still watching. I'm Trash Basket. This was a trash video, and here's hoping the announcement is a good one, I guess. Maybe. Depending who you are or what you want. Maybe you want fire.